Okay. Looks like we're good. Hello there, everybody. This is Marvin13 here. And welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time that we saw each other was that we were definitely doing awesomely in our first case of defending ourselves. Okay. So now we're gonna pick this motherfudger up, and so's the old man. Even though I shouldn't be saying old man, but we're just gonna call him a senior citizen. Let's just call him that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get started. Let's pick this guy apart. Even what I saw wasn't the precise moment of the firearm discharge, it's almost the same thing. Okay, yeah, pointing the gun at the foreign man. Press that. Yeah, it may be true that I was holding a gun at that point in time, but I've already told you. I only picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously the culprit, that's the only way I could explain it anyway. I had just finished drinking my coffee. I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And exactly at that moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ear. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing. Okay, why don't you have a blade? Testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, I did see you with a pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, okay, I think I might need to save it because I think I have an idea. There we go, I'm gonna try my best not to save so much. Okay. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Okay. So we were the only personnel at present. Do we have anything that we can present him? Furthermore, a visual search of the premise at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Wait a minute, what about the waiter? And furthermore, a visual search of the premise at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. But the waiter was in the restaurant as well. Luckily I saved it. Presented with this. Okay. Okay. Question this one. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time and dinner time at any restaurant. I know. Of course, it was almost empty. If there was a reason why the victim was eating at the time of day, why was he alone? The answer is that there was indeed a reason. There was? Oh. The 19th of November, past 1 p.m. Okay. Following lunch would be more simple. Okay, indeed. Indeed alone. He was dying all by himself. Okay. Therefore, no one other than it could have dispatched the Englishman. Indeed, he was alone, dying all by himself. He's pointing at the gun. Even what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it would have ended up being the same thing. Okay, I was pointing the gun at a foreign man. The young man in black. That much I did see. Even if I saw the precise moment the firearm was discharged. Okay, luckily I saved it beforehand. Okay, so... present him with this. Okay, the record of dental work on the day of the murder, the victim had undergone prohibited from eating anything but water. Okay. So... pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was laid back in the NIC. Further, a visual search of the premise confirmed that there was only one personnel present. Wait a minute, there we go. He can't eat because he had dental work. Present this, he couldn't be dining. Yes! Well, I think, you caught yourself a lawyer? Wish I could, but first, I am the accused. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally, under the circumstances, so I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kasuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out, when you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposely. You know exactly what I wanted you to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Kuroda-san, this is the medical report belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on the report card with your witness statement. Something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You're not to enter other court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But, let's see if I can explain it in words you might understand. At the 2 p.m., the witness was in the murder at the restaurant. Whether he or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's... Ugh. Remember, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe you're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness's testimony in the court has been clear and concise. The medical report card bears no matter for that is simple. The only reason that there's no one besides this pale-faced pupil at the crime scene. This medical report has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it be relevant? Perhaps because Hoda Clinic, which just issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Yes, it does. What if I told her the victim just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, what if I told you that it was a result of the victim had been forbidden from eating? Just, what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure, and the anesthesia wears off. No, that can't be. Kurenaka-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed in some shortly time after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No! Additionally, there's more? You have asserted the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, just had his teeth extracted and then it was experiencing the side effects of the anesthesiac. Oh, yeah. Oh, fudging, yeah, we got him.
Objection!
What is this nonsense? You little upstart. These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. Again! There's nothing on his side.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant, in this restaurant case have turned. Would you agree? Being an escape? Oh yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat, which means that someone had to be there, which is one crucial conundrum. Who was in fact eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion on the defense on this new puzzle. Okay, now we're finally getting somewhere. Okay. Okay, now we're totally getting started. Give me a second, everybody. Just want to make sure that my live stream software is working. Okay, it looks all good. Okay, it looks good. Okay. Alright. Counsel? Oh, of course. That means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be very pivotal. This is the start. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so, the person eating at the victim's table must have been not the victim himself, not me. 2 witnesses, and as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only be someone else who is sitting at the professor's table. I will not let this go. There was no such person. Yes, there was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet, there is evidence of half-eaten steak on the table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. Ugh. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Oh, now we're talking, man. Now we're talking. Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Got him! No, negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as to have me. Just say that you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you say, Konagasa-san? No! You were just following orders. Now hold on, lad. I was, You say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? Objection! What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? It's true. Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Oh, the prosecutor's gonna get it. Counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You try to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who's trying to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. You're prepared to be tied as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryanosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they are sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ayuchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there's only a handful of possibilities. The government, or the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas on who it might be? If we can't affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need a name, whoever tried to keep these witnesses' mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it really was did wield her power here. But how? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a clue as a result. That's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything for everything we missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. Okay. Okay. Okay, if it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea of any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. What does the defense say about all this, Well, Your Excellency, I have no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first thing that comes into my head. Okay. A medical school professor at the Imperial Yumi University. He is an authority on forensic medicine and Kasuma's mentor. The victim is dead. He's a waiter. He couldn't have any influence. Eugene. Okay, can I save it? It has to be Eugene Mikotaba. It has to be him. It has to be him. You see, the guy here is a prosecutor. He couldn't have that much influence in the case. The victim's already dead. The guy is only a waiter. This guy here was only paid to keep his mouth shut. This guy's also going to keep his mouth shut, so it has to be him. Yes. What do you make of that? You may want to close your ears as well as your eyes. Okay. So it wasn't Mikotoba. I don't have a great deal of influence myself, but believe me, I can find other ways to make your keep mouth shut as well. Alright, don't get angry, I'll think again. Now that I think about it, there might be some pieces thoroughly examined yet. Okay. Okay, besides the prosecution, the only person with necessary influence to manipulate the evidence. To manipulate the witness. Okay, I thought it was him. Huh. Okay, what is he? Let's try him. He did say the people who had influence is people in the military. Let's try him. I can always load. Yes. Yeah, what do you make of that? Oh. Okay. Can I look at the evidence? Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is... Okay. Okay, jeez. The victim is dead. The waiter could have had influence.
Yes.
Surely that would be Satara Hosanaga-san. Hosanaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier? Poppycock. What possible reason would there be the waiter to make these witnesses give false testimony? And not to mention the fact that the head waiter could not have possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that man were truly a waiter. If he truly were? Come on, Musuke, time to hit this court with the truth. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere now. I guess it really was the waiter. Okay. Okay, the truth about Satoru Hosaka-san's real identity is proven in the evidence. A gunshot for the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. This card.
Yes.
Objection! Grounds! For the true nature of the accused. Ah, come on! Oh, frick me! Okay. Try again. Go over to... Unless there's something in there that proves the waiter really is. Alright then. I'll try. Okay, Okay. Examine this. How's it going, Epip? The plans for the restaurant raise a number of questions, I think. Definitely. I suppose to show you the relative position of everything the moments into the incident. There's nothing here to show the woman that you saw in the picture there. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left. It says kitchen. Oh yeah, so what of it? One would use these complicated characters to write kitchen. Especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember the characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. Ah, you okay. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see what it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosanaga. Oh yes, business cards do tend to show a person's name at some point. But that's not all. That's unexpected. His job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosanaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division. Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here. Waiter's card has been added to the information to the court record. Oh, he is so gonna get it. Present this again.
Yes.
The plans for restaurant sketch from the man in question? I agree, it shows a great detail. But I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card. Is of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front. Yes, the front of the back of the card. Would somebody please explain to me what this overly excited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san has sketched a plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of this business card. And on the front card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. That's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Division, Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What, the waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard of a mention of this before. Why haven't I heard of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So witnesses there, in the stand, was in fact the waiter who gave you the orders? Was it he that told you not to mention that you have seen a foreign gentlewoman? Well... Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court at once. Of course. Here you go. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I was trying to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself get distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working at as a restaurant waiter? Of course, your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there has been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That will be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point up for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. You just heard new information from these two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you are required to these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Oh, yeah. Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Bang! And as soon as I heard a gunshot, I ran out to the kitchen to see what happened. The victim lay slumped on the chair beside him, gun in hand, and stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady who I guess was an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then I received some special orders. You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? Tampering with evidence. Okay. How's it going, Ebib? It was made clear the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire's views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil to name an Englishwoman as a primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this presence. But it's not right. Freaking cold. Okay. Making sure I save it just in case something happens. Freaking cold. Glad I got my chores done and I don't have to go out anymore this weekend. That is awesome, Epip. What possibility does spring to mind? What do you mean, Kazuma? Yumi University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I am fairly certain that one of them is studying in the medical faculty research laboratory. Is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it would be prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university's professor's table, Miss Jazeel Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yumi University Medical Facility. What? What is happening here? I admit, under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene and ordered these witnesses to make sure no mention of her in the testimonies. So basically, in a way, this B word over here just practically said, keep your mouth shut, and whatever crime you're about to commit next, I'll make sure that your sentence is more lenient. That, or it's a bribe. Here's some money. All you had to do is to keep your mouth shut. Oh, this B word over here. Well, I guess he's under orders, but still tampering with evidence. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we now have discovered that the premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Congress of Council, I will not allow the government of our country or any other influence to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Oh, that is awesome. The judge is awesome. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Jezebel Brett and escort her to the courtroom with utmost urgency. That was, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, he's a detective. It is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. The court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Jezebel Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Oh. Jeez, okay. Yes, save my progress, yes. Oh, jeez. This Bad Joke Thursday. What kind of music do the pilgrims like to listen to? Thanksgiving. Okay, Supreme Court of Japan. The Fitness Antechamber number 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. Plymouth Rock. Oh, that's a good one. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. That was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. Okay. I think you have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. I don't ever want to see this through the courtroom again. Anyways, it looks like you were exposed by your phantom lady at last. Okay, Miss Jezebel Brent, a student from Great Britain, is she? She's trying to tell everyone from the start. What was that? I could have sworn. Oh, give me a second, everybody. I love the word grim. Me too. Let's see, am I? Let's see, no. Okay, yeah, I'm talking a little loud. Okay, I gotta lower it down. Okay, I gotta lower my voice down. I guess my neighbors are knocking on my wall. Okay. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him. Like I've been saying all along. Yeah, you have, haven't you? I'm confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she has hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Yeah, I heard that knocking too, yeah. Maybe my voice was too loud. So I'm gonna try my best to lower my voice down. Okay, did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant, and then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table. I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and then afterwards I bent down and picked it up. Bang! He didn't touch the trigger. I didn't have time to think or where the sound of the gunshot came from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. He bundled me into some small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yeah, and because I was shut in the pantry, I had no idea what happened outside the dining area. There you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Nico Toba. It seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system is even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to start sending our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study on tour being cancelled. I'm a lot louder than you. Yeah, it's not even 5 p.m. They are rude. They are lucky I don't live next to them. I'm a lot louder than you. Yeah, I guess they are. I can only guess they are being rude, yeah. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, but you have to be nice to your neighbors. Exactly, Epip. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What do you say, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier in this morning, didn't he? Give it to me, she yelled. I'm so wet, give it to me now. She could scream all she wanted. But I was keeping the umbrella. Did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was visiting professor at Yumi. It was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement with the Bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. I have no doubt you pair will put up a good fight to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. Oh, she's cute. I need to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may ask. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruto. Court race is over. Make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's get in there and deal with this decisive blow. Before the old fossils, no one hit him. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I am found guilty in this trial, he's really gonna give up his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're going up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll say the thank yous after the trial. You can't treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yumi Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Oh, F yeah. We may have some extra large Chinese food. I mean Japanese food. November 22nd, 1909. Supreme Court of the Supreme Court of Japan. Courtroom 2. The court hereby resumes trial of Inosuke Naruto. Prosecutor Aichi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. Thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under a rather painful... thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. That's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. We still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation's founders? Again, terribly sorry. If friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. It's what our nation's justice system is. This our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with a great world power, we have become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. Nuh-uh. I won't deny that I am no expert. I'm just a student. And one could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in the Supreme Court, There's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Mianosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brat! Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system. It exists solely for the pursuit of truth. And with that in mind, this trial will resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jezebel Brett. Yes. Your Excellency. Oh my. Oh, he is such a simp. Oh, what a delight to welcome such a fine gentleman to Japan, and from such a distant land. T? He is also a simp. T? Someone bring this English tea in England. No discussions, T. There we go. I'm just definitely gonna send that all over to Twitter. That is definitely gonna be sent to Twitter. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as a hater of the La Carnival. Yeah, we know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always lady first. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. The city powers of observation are one thing to be sure of. Yeah, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description of this amazing sight is simply a woman. Sorry, you know, scheme about powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, here, lady. If I may trouble you for the name and occupation, please. British speak is like this. Okay, British speak is like that, okay. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? British speak is like that, okay. The lady says her name is Jezebel Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in University Medical Facility. What a rare treat to have a tones of delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word he said, but it was a beautiful hummingbird song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you clearly been paying attention in English classes in this game. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking part in the stand. Now, if I may trouble you to confirm something with Mr. Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a murder took place. A murder has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Wait a minute, he could be giving off false translations. She says yes. All of those words only to say yes? So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, but you're the one who engineered her escape. Just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the crime scene. Wait a minute. This guy couldn't eat the steak. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. What do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Okay. Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have a conclusive witness statement. Looks like it's clear now. Clear up who our real enemy is. Yeah, the lady. I will ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of the frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Witness testimony. A frightening sight and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came on over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself. Do you mean Grim? Yeah, yeah, Grim, yeah. Okay. That's academic testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, black-hearted blackguard. Look at the sorrowful white angel. Even as dark-minded scoundrel like you, imagine those words in the court is going to believe? Ugh. You're still making the same mistakes we in this game. You must have blurted out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and 2 other witnesses who testified before reported back to the Bureau. It was then decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I say, let it go. Testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person that she would conceal a firearm. It's true, she can hide a gun in her hat. I think she could have hid a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless it's the precise location where the witness had the hidden weapon can be shown, this is moot. There's no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Yeah, it could be in the hat. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, so I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, man. I didn't fire the gun. I picked it up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes. We need to prove how. So we need to pull the testimony apart. Oh, she's smirking. Okay. The defense may not cross-examine a witness. Oh yes, Your Excellency. Okay. There you go. Okay. Alright, I arranged her and me with the luncheon. Okay, I had arranged for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. Alright. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Question that. He was unable to eat, you say? And was that because he just had a tooth removed for the correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witnesses before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean it was you who ate that steak in the picture here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it is left before the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled a distant land from the far side of the world to be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my lady. I swear I shall crush the evil fiend, and that has subjugated you for the evil plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to drink or eat at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? The professor was unable to eat, but he hadn't been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us what this profound bearing is, Uh-oh. The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well, sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Bragg. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to the official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kasuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I hope there is some more useful tips you're picking from this experience than that. Okay. There we go. Okay, over a glass of carbonated water. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor. They got into a fierce argument. And not long after, the accused took the professor getting a shot of his... So she's maintaining that you got to argument with the professor at the end, which he shot him. A totally profound lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she is an elegant, refined, young, beautiful Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed to head to toe in dull black skittle. You except the flashing red ribbons. Anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony in this fiction. We can't do that, the trial's over. You with you and your thick skin must feel the murderous look that you're getting from around this room. I feel half dead already, and the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency with her testimony. The first thing you should do is press her on her statements. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner from hiding behind a mask. What should I be aiming for in this cross-examination? I just spent 40 minutes thinking, why is there a thing called grapefruit when there's a fruit called a grape? I ordered beefsteak for myself and the professor, and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Okay. After all, the accused come over to greet the professor and got into a fierce argument. No! Okay, press through. Okay, we gotta press every question. Okay, we're gonna question him on everything.
Yes!
So both of you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective. And the beefsteak? Was this for you, Miss Britt? The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. And what a frightful place. It's a young lady's... I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Well, that's frightful. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, it doesn't matter what it is. Sure, come to think of it, the first time I ever tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock the first time I tried beef. But anyway, rather than witness test statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she is saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know when it might lead to our goal. My goal to turn this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. After all, the accused came on over and greeted the professor into a fierce argument. Yes. Press on that. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did was, when I noticed him, was going over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't redirecting at the retort at you. I was meant the lady next to you. Well, anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brent does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome... Oh, you're saying that to your own people's language. Okay. English is the future. We must something. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find out something to unravel her testimony, how insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still have some coffee to drink. And the next time you go up to that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay. Okay. I don't care myself.
Yes.
It's all very well saying it, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady wasn't carrying a weapon. I distinctly remembered her saying, "I'm not." He took her at her word. She could have had a gun. And all she had to do is to say, "I don't have a gun." But then this guy's like, "Okay, you don't have a gun? You say you don't have a gun? Then you don't have a gun." That's all he did? He just asked her? Surely he carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not? An honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for further probing of the matter. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Think what you will, but if you're going to continue this preposterous claim that the refined lady is concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, you must evidence. The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry with your presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. And not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not to get her out of there, I urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she is in no way meant to run away at the scene of the crime, which is why that she is only too happy to cooperate and testify in court today, of course. Unlike the certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. Could you at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you? She's maintained that you got into an argument with the professor and at the end that you shot him, which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. A stark contrast to you. Okay, except you're in red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance of exposure. If we can't do that, the trial is over. Even with you thick skin, and the fact that I can't see any single inconsistency in her testimony makes me feel any better either. First thing to do is to press her on any statement. I need to expose a true face. That's what I'm aiming for the cross-examination. Okay. I had arranged... Wait a minute. Question this.
Yes.
After 2 p.m., in fact, that's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep it up with your latest fashions from Great Britain, do you? Late lunches are in vogue, isn't that right? Oh. Caught her in a lie. Caught him in a lie. But decisive English. No has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it's apparently that the daily occurrence that they would have lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had an appointment at the clinic first. Yes, and which we can prove from the medical report that was submitted in the evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment. Which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this woman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Okay. Wait a minute. Let me check again. It said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Let's take a look at the evidence real quick. Wait a minute, this one. Carbonated water. Let's take a, okay, let's examine this. Okay, I truly can't tell this is wine. Okay. Okay, I ordered beef steak for myself and the professor and I. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, I ordered beef steak for myself and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch has been seen on the victim's table. After all, the accused come over and have a fierce argument. Not long after. And not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Then when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up on the floor and the professor was leaving it on. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me. That'll do, you dirty rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusations. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. This lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Okay. Okay, jeez. This one's gonna be a little hard. Okay. Yeah, this one here's gonna be a little hard. Okay, then not long after the accused took the gun, professor's gun, and then shot him right before my eyes. After all, the accused came on over to greet the professor. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. I can present the evidence that well, I guess I did save it ahead of time. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. There was no one on the table. Yes! That's it. Let me confirm something, please. It has to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print only showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That was exactly what was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Jeremy, what's so odd about the defense's inability to explain itself? Realistic. What does that print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brent just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are you supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over renewing? What is the possible difference between presence or absence of a glass? Is made on the case. Reason is to say, could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me that you can only click the 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything had happened. Okay, I better get going, everybody. Sorry for the way that this live stream is, but man, sometimes when you're playing a Phoenix Wright game, you just want to know what's going to happen next. But man, this court trial is something else, man. But anyways, everybody, luckily I'm going to save it again to make sure. We're going to carry on with this game tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.